Hi, it's Ash from Crack Minis. Today I'm building a motorcycle because that's what you voted for. Also, I've been dying to build one for a while. Let's go. So what you see before you is my collection of wheels. Now, I take apart a lot of random toys to build my terrain and other stuff, so I have quite the collection of wheels at the moment. I couldn't quite decide on what type of wheel I wanted to use, so I thought it was better just to have them all laid out in front of me. Once I'd picked my first set of wheels, because I picked multiple, because I kept making mistakes, and it took about 3 attempts to get the right sets together. I will show you the mistakes I made as I go, just because this video didn't take me very long to make. So yeah, I've not got a lot of footage. So once I got my first selection of wheels done, I decided to start working on the body. At first I wanted the bike to be a dirt bike, like the concept art that I shared on Instagram and on my community part tab on YouTube. I'm not sure what it's called, the community tab. Anyway, yeah. I went for a dirt bike look, but then that just wasn't working. I tried different versions and different setups and trying to get the right shape and form and stuff like that. Looking back at it now, I realise it's because the wheels were just too bulky. If I'd have picked two thinner wheels, I probably would have got away with just having a dirt bike, but I chose chunky wheels and ended up with something that wasn't that. I don't want to spoil it. Although you probably just looked at the thumbnail and the intro bit and seen it, so I kind of already have. So I might as well just say it's a chopper. I made a chopper. I was struggling with the form of the bike so much that I needed something to help, and I decided to pull out one of my Outriders from my Space Wolf army for Warhammer 40k. Yeah, so it's kit bashed, obviously, otherwise it wouldn't be a wolf head with a giant barrel sticking out of his mouth, but I used it to help me figure out the shape that I wanted to go for, and I decided to go lengthen the body out. And I thought, I could either have it a bike like this, or I could make it a chopper itself. And I thought, you know what, I'll make it a chopper. And then it'll help me with the wideness of the wheels that I've got. Because even the wheels on the Outrider bike weren't as wide as what I had as well. And then I made another mistake. I overthought. I've just well overthought the whole process. I started doing stupid things, trying to put different weird stuff in different weird places, and I was just like, yeah, this is not working. It just came out super ugly. Look how many shapes are in that. There's just way too many shapes. I didn't know what I was thinking. I was just jamming bits of plastic to other bits of plastic and hoping for the best, but I didn't have an idea of how it was supposed to look, what the form was going to be, and nothing. So I took a little bit of a break, a couple hours, and then I went back at it and I figured out what I was doing. And then it clicked. I needed to simplify it. I'd stuck those little engine pieces either side of the wheel, so I was like, I'll keep them. And then I'm going to work out a different midsection using something thinner. It's a connector for 2 guns on a Robo Gear Spider, I think. I got the engine pieces from exactly the same kit. I use them for kit bashing. They're ace. Anyway, yeah. So I used that for the midsection where the seat was going to sit, and then connected to that the front piece, which was made from another gun from the Robo Gear Saved the Day. But to be fair, that only solved half my problem, because I kept trying to use this weird back end because I didn't want to have to rip it apart and rebuild it. But I actually did end up ripping it apart and rebuilding it. So yeah, you'll see now, because I realised I was looking at everything from the wrong angle. And I just ended up having to turn a piece round, and it started to make more sense to me. And once I'd realised how wrong I was, I decided that I needed a new wheel. Yeah, so I switched wheels, and then switched the way that wheel attached to the bike by using lollipop sticks. Once I got those lollipop sticks in place, and I decided where I wanted them to be glued, I had to use a bit of EVA foam to get the sticks to stick to the motorcycle. Ooh. I spaffed that like 8 times. I kept getting tongue twisted on the word stick. I got some floral wire for exhaust piping, and then I covered up the EVA foam with some little panels of plastic. I used a bit of gunpla to hide. Is that right? Gunpla? Some pieces from a Gundam. I used some pieces from a Gundam to cover where the wire came out at the end of the lollipop stick and went into the wheel. Okay. I added a little kickstand because it wouldn't stay upright when I put it on the side. And I've just realised now I forgot to take it off. So that's on there forever now, even though it's of no use because the exhaust held it up because I added a bunch more of them. For the handles I used the tips of some guard rifles, although I'm regretting not using the tips of crew rifles because that would have looked so much cooler, especially with the guy that I've got sat on this thing. You know, because of the little spike that comes out the end. But they're still pretty cool, and I got some nice detail on them, even if you're not going to see them, because the hand covers one of them. And I don't know if I painted colour on the other one. Just kept it silver. I can't remember. I threw on a couple little extra bits in a few little other places. I mean, just to add a bit more detail to the thing. Because it's not very big, so I didn't have to add loads of detail to it. But still, you want something that catches the eye. A little bit of interesting stuff happening, you know? Like the mud guard on the front. That's a hand I didn't use on Beyond the Fell-Handed. You know, to turn it into a Venerable Dreadnought. I think it's a Venerable. Is it Venerable? Anyway, yeah. So I have a Beyond the Fell-Handed, and this is the extra bit that comes with it. It's like a hand holding an axe. And yeah, I used that for the mudguard. I stuck on a few more bits, some guitar wire, a sheathed las rifle that I had in my bits box, and then I just built the guy. See, I had a load of footage here that I was going to show you of all the mistakes I made while I was building the guy, but I thought it best just to go straight to the guy. I used mostly Space Marine bits, some aggressor pieces for the legs, bottoms of the legs, and then I did some chopping and cutting to get the lower legs, no, it's the upper legs and the lower torso right. Then I stuck on the top piece of the torso, and then I used orc arms and a Reaper helmet. And then used some shoulder pads to hide the gaps, bent some fingers into place to get it to hold place, and then I started sculpting. For the sculpting, instead of green stuff, I decided to mix Abe's epoxy sculpt with some superfine white milliput. And I wanted to put a jacket on him. I was kind of inspired by Vandoth in Necromunda for this one. So I wanted to give it some leather. But obviously I want it to look different than that, so I give it some fur as well. And more leather. Sort of like he was wearing a giant duster. You know, like riding around on his motorcycle in the desert. So it needed to be worn and stuff like that, so I was going to have to paint that in later on. Obviously I added scratches and things like that to it, to add some detail when it was at this stage. I was going to go into some finer detail on the sculpting itself, but I don't really think this is the video for it. I mean, there's only so much you need to know, especially when it comes to doing basic sculpting. You're not going to need loads of tools. Like for this I used two tools. One was a flat one with a little bit of a bendy piece on it. The other one was just a ball stylus thing. And I also used some snips to get my straight edges. It can be finicky, so dead fiddly and a little bit of a pain, but anyone can do this really. Just takes a little bit of practice. Okay then, so that's basically it, ready for painting. And I've just realised now I missed a bit of that wheel with the black primer. So too late now, already finished painting it, so I guess that's like that forever now, because I'm not going back to it. So to start with, I overbrushed it with silver. Overbrushing is where you just stick lots of paint on quickly. People say they invented it on YouTube. They didn't. It's in a book called How to Make Wargames Terrain by Games Workshop that was released in the early 2000s. So, yeah. I've seen people claim the invention of this. It's literally just overbrushing. It's been around forever. Alright, you slap as much silver on as I could. I wanted to bulk it out. Maybe leave a little bit in the shadows though, you know? If you hadn't already noticed, I'm not actually telling you a story yet. I had a story for the concept art that I drew, but this is so far away from the concept art that I drew that there's no point in me telling you the story. So, I'm just going to talk about the painting. Enjoy. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Okay, sad. Oh, okay, anyway. After the silver, I got some brown down. This is the base for all the leather that's on there. And then I moved on to some colours. And like I said, I got inspiration for this from Vandoth, from Necromunda. So, it's going to be red. It's a big red monster on a motorcycle. Now the red was easy. I used Viscera Red from TT Combat, from their paint set. I use it all the time now, because it's one of the best reds I've ever used. And it looks really good on this. Because I'd painted it silver, I didn't want to go to any of the edges on any pieces. So I tried to leave as much silver showing while putting the red onto the model. The only place I really painted full red was the helmet itself. And then, you know, just did the big square pieces on the panels of the rest of the armour. The more I look at this thing, the more I realise it's very glam, like a glam metal. And I should have painted it in a bright colour, because that would have been funnier. But anyway, yeah. So lots of red for the body. I mean, just look at those boots, man. Look at the high heels. For the bike itself, I decided to go for a blue. I'm regretting it. I should have just gone red for the bike as well. But I also wanted it to look like it was looted. So he stole it off someone else, and they had it being painted blue, and he's not really cared about whether he paints it red or not. I might have to paint more on this thing now that I've finished this video. Oh, because it needs flames, like lots of flames. I didn't go over the top enough. I'm regretting it. For the flesh tones, which were easy because it was just the hands and the arms, I started with a purple. Once I'd got the purple down, I went and mixed that with a bit of a very light skin tone, and then just painted that over the top, and then I just finished it off with that light skin tone that I mixed with the purple in the first place, just to highlight everything. Obviously I wanted the skin to look sore, like it's always exposed to all sorts of nasty stuff in the air, and I guess Hive City that it's in now. Still, I want to repaint it. I don't think I've ever built something that I've wanted to repaint so bad. I've only just realised I want to repaint it as I'm talking about it, as a finished video that I've already made. Oh, God. I added some white to the... You know what, I'm going to repaint it, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make a short video of me showing it off, like a... what do they do, like a showcase? Yeah, I'll do a showcase for just this one model that I'm going to repaint, because I'm not happy with the job I've done here. I'm really not. I mean, I added some white to the faceplate and to the wrist guard and a little bit to the boots and that, but see, him himself I'm happy with, but the bike, also I've missed some bits, and I've realised I've missed some bits just watching the video back that I really shouldn't have missed. I feel like it needs a proper decent paint job, and I'm gonna have to do it to showcase, just like a small, like, I can't believe this. Oh well. I guess I made quite a few mistakes on this build. Although I am happy with how it looks, and I think it very, very much fits into like that Necromunda vibe that I sort of stumbled my way into, because I don't normally make Warhammer themed content, and this is just sort of just happened. Yeah. Might do more of it, but not too much. I don't want to get typecast into that bubble of Warhammer stuff. Every now and then. Like, I've got a kit bash I want to do, which will be coming up next, I think. It's on my list. So I think the next one's going to be a kit bash, because someone's given me this Imperial Guard like armoured car that I want to turn into a battle wagon. So yeah. Anyway, now existential crisis is over. If you like what I've done, and you maybe want to see the showcase when it's repainted, don't forget to like and subscribe. Also leave comments with some suggestions on how you think I should paint it. I don't want people telling me it's alright, because I'm just not happy with it. I want suggestions as to ways I can make it look a bit better. Or even if you can point me in a way of other YouTubers who have like a different sort of paint style or painting techniques that I could use, that I can give a go. Because I want to learn a bit more as well when it comes to the painting. Hit me up in the comments. Now it's time for the spinny bit. And some stills from back when I liked what I'd done. So, yeah. I hope you enjoyed the video. I will see you next time.